Yo, we rolling deep, let's dive into the fright. Hit that play button, we review every bite. From horror flicks that give you chills at night to games that thrill, yeah, we get it right. Remember that, step back, hold tight. We'll dissect every scare, keep the vibe right. Remember that, we're here to expose the thrills, the chills where the dark wind blows. From pixels on screens to the sound that glows. Join us forever, that's how the story goes.
All right, guys, it's been a year, and tonight we're going to do a special episode. We're going to look back over this past years and talk about some of our favorite episodes. We're going to give out some awards, and what we're going to do is just have a little online celebration here tonight, man. So, guys, it's been a year. What do we think?
I think it's been a really good year, and I think that we've added, since we've added Brent, we've added Cade, we've added Bryson. I think that those were three super strong additions that was much needed for the show, and I think that we got our show on the right kind of track.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
We'll get into this too, but I just want to thank everyone on this show. I think we've all done a great job. We've seen, after each additional member has been added, we've seen significant growth to the viewership of the channel. That just shows the dedication that each member puts in. And and thanks to the audience, I mean, our fans are growing. We've got more viewers than we could have ever imagined, and we just know it's going to continue growing, and that's all thanks to you guys. So Happy New Year's to everyone, and I'm excited to get into this episode.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy New Year's. I'm very glad that y'all invited me onto the show. I started off as a fan and listener, and now I get to be here with y'all just hanging out. So not only did I create a new hobby that I can be a part of, but also new friendships. So I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, man. Well, guys, I guess we'll just get cranking. The first thing we're going to do tonight is each one of us are going to give our top 5 episodes throughout this year. And then, it's each one of our individual top 5, so everything will be a little bit different. But I'll go first. And, thinking about my top 5, at number 5, I'm going to put Return of the Living Dead. Now that, you either love that movie or you think it's stupid. But, I grew up watching that movie, and it's a comfort movie for me. It'll always be a staple for me. So that movie and that episode has to be in my top 5. So I'm going to put it at number 5. Number 4, I'm going to put Halloween 2, because Halloween 2 is my favorite Halloween movie of all time. That movie always holds a special place in my heart, so it's got to be in my top 5. I could sit down and talk about the Halloween franchise every day of the year. So I just absolutely love that franchise. So at number 4, I'm going to put Halloween 2. Number 3, I was thinking about it, and I was like, man, you got Halloween, you got Halloween 4. We also done Halloween 3. But I'm going to have to honestly put at my number 3 spot, I'm going to put Halloween 4 episode, just because the whole opening to that episode, and it's another one of my staple movies, comfort movies. I could sit down and do a show about Halloween 4 every day of the year. So Halloween 4, definitely a special place in my heart. So I love doing that show. I would say in the future, sometime we will probably do revisits of some of these shows because we love to talk about that franchise so much. And then for my top 2 spots, I got to thinking, I liked a little bit something different, So at number 2, where I'm at, number 3 or number 4? I'm at number 2. So the Decades of Horror show. I love doing our special shows, and we're going to go to a format starting in January. So once a month, we're going to have a little section that we're going to do like a special show. And it may be something different every month, but we're going to allot 1 week a month where we can do maybe something other than a horror movie, It may be a horror movie, maybe not, it may not be. It may be an interview with somebody. We don't know yet. But we're going to allot 1 week a month where we can do maybe something a little different, throw a little spice in there. So I love doing that Decades of Horror show. I love it when we get to go back and forth and argue with each other and stuff like that. And that was a big one. We argued a lot during that show. And so, it was just great. But, for me, the number 1 spot, it's no question. It's the Howling 2 episode. That comes from our awesomely bad playlist. And let me tell you something, man. I had never seen that movie before we done that on this show, and
You're
it has
welcome.
become thank you, sir.
You're
but
welcome.
It has become a shoot, I watch every time I take a notion to watch type of movie, because instant classic. I can't believe I come through life and didn't have it until now. So I love that show. Even have a certain award that came from that show. And in my mind, that show became an instant remember that classic, man. So I got some, I'd have to give the Amityville Horror Show we done with the guest, The Guilty and the Ghostly, as a sweet honorable mention there. But man, to me, the best show of the year last year was The Howling 2, man. That just nothing
Corky,
top.
all I got to say about that is the pale light, the pale light of the moon.
Best song ever, man.
Man.
Did we ever even figure out what the actual wording of that song was?
That's what he says. The pale light.
That's right.
The pale light of the moon glow.
And that gave birth.
That
gave birth to the handstand in the corner. Werewolf
they were getting
orgies.
down in that castle.
Yeah, they were.
And most importantly, one of the best. That led to one of the best jokes on this podcast when Cade said, "I bet it smelled like a PetSmart in there."
That was awesome.
That joke right there is why Bryson is with us right now.
Exactly.
I remember Bryson saying that he was watching that episode and he heard Cade make that joke and he was like, dude, that's hilarious.
Dude,
that is the
so
reason
funny.
why we have Bryson, the professor. And,
I'm telling you, man.
And
Greatest show ever, man.
So I will actually start laughing about that while I'm sitting there at work, just randomly. I'll start thinking about Cade saying that they smelled like a PetSmart in there, and I'll be like,
dude, when he said that was hilarious. That was one of the best jokes that's been made on this podcast.
That's one of the best jokes of the show, and I mean, this is one of the best ones that I've ever heard,
man. Until we watch another Howling movie, like I think that's gonna be the top for sure. It has to.
Hey guys, and most importantly, that movie gave birth to the Werewolf Nipple Award. We will give that award out every single year.
Yes.
I promise you that.
Yes,
Yep.
The worst show of the year will be awarded the Werewolf Nipple Award.
The worst show or the best show, whichever way you want to put it. All right, man.
That's hilarious.
Well, that's my top 5, guys. I'm going to pass it off to Daniel. Let's see what your top 5 is.
All right,
buddy.
man. Well, so my top 5's a little bit different. Basically, what I did was I went with my top 5 with the ones that I just really enjoyed doing the show the most. And some of the ones that I picked were also some of the top viewed shows. So I know that the listeners are liking what we're putting out, but my number 5 is actually a split. So one of them's going to be an honorable mention. So I'll go ahead and put the decades of horror. Whenever we ranked everything, that'll be my honorable mention. And my number 5 is going to be Jaws, because I just love talking about Jaws. Jaws has got one of the best death scenes on it. It was a pretty highly viewed show, I think. And I got a chance to drop some mad shark knowledge in this show. So I really
That was basically a National Geographic episode,
There was like a 30-minute time period where Daniel just like, and in South America there are sharks that lurk around in the water.
It's like
I had my pen out like, dude, I'm going to take notes. This is good stuff.
Hey, that's the only episode that the professor had changed from Bryson to Dad. That's the only episode.
That we did the show like a week. It was either a week after or a week before Shark Week that was on Discovery Channel. I felt like I was on Discovery Channel. So yeah. My number 5 is going to go with Jaws. Number 4 is The Shining. The Shining at one point for a long time in this year was the top viewed show. I really had an enjoyable time really breaking down all of the symbolism that come with that show, because there was a lot of it. My number 3 is going to be Halloween 4. Halloween 4 is the current champion right now for the top viewed show. And just like what Corky was saying, I could talk about Halloween 4 every day of the year. Halloween 4 is one of my top horror movies. It's probably my third favorite Halloween franchise movie. So it's awesome. My number 2 is going to be Big Cade's. It's not going to be Cade's debut. I think that you'd already done an episode or 2, but Alien.
Yeah,
Alien was
my first.
Alien was a really good show. Cade really come into his own right. He really came in with a bunch of Alien knowledge. Made me want to watch Alien movies again. Like I wasn't that big of a sci-fi person. I watched Predator when I think it come out in 1987 or whatever. And that was about as far as it went, so us coming in, Cade was like, hey man, let's do Alien. And I was like, okay, I've got my reservations about it, but I'm going to give it a shot. I watched it and I loved it. And so now I'm a huge Alien fan because of that. So that's my number 2.
Heck yeah.
And then my number 1.
That makes my heart warm.
So my number 1 is going to be the Texas Chainsaw Massacre episode. I know that whenever we reposted that episode, we had originally done it under our old name. And so at the time, that was the highest rated show under the old name. Moved it over to Remember That, and I guess maybe some of the people who was already following us didn't want to watch it again or whatever. So it wasn't like a huge rated show, but I love doing the show because I love that movie, and that's my number 1. So, Cade, I don't know if you've been keeping track of everybody's.
I am now. I just started with you, Corky. If you could you quickly give me your 5 again, just really quick? I want to document it so that next year we can kind of go back and look at it and stuff. So
yeah man.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were your 5 again, Corky?
At number 5, I went with Return of the Living Dead. At number 4, I went with Halloween 2. Thank you very much. Okay. At number 3, I went with Halloween 4. And for number 2, I went with the Decades of Horror Show. And of course, at number 1, The Howling 2.
Oh, got it. I got the records.
Which I'll say this about, man. We have 3 episodes on here that we ported over from the old podcast, and that was the Exorcist episode, the Lost Boys, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Those 3 shows were massive hits over there, and it's something we can talk about, but I would almost like to redo those 3 shows under our new format.
Yeah.
Just because I would
100% redo those shows.
So we'll look at that in the upcoming year, because I would like to redo those shows. Just
anytime you want to.
All right. So who's up now? Brent. Let's hear that top 5 shows.
Come on, Big Brent. Let's go.
All right. Well, this was kind of a hard list to make because I've loved recording pretty much every episode that we've done. But I have an honorable mention. It's kind of split between A Christmas Carol, which was one of our the latest video that we've posted.
A sleeper hitter too, boy.
And it actually did very well. We've got 130 views on it. That's good.
And then Civil War. I loved recording that episode. So those are my 2 honorable mentions. But at number 5, you got Silence of the Lambs.
Nice.
I loved recording that. And you'll see from my list, but any movie that has to do with symbolism and it could get me talking, I love it. Because that's how I love that, because I love seeing things connect to real life, and how can I use this movie, like how can watching this movie change my life? And you can see, that's why I love symbolism so much, if anyone's wondering. But Silence of the Lambs, that was a great episode to record. Number 4, The Decades of Horror. That was a fun, just random episode that we did that got us talking. The conversations were great. Me and Dad went back and forth. We had the infamous 1990s slide for no reason at all.
Yeah, you're still wrong, son. You're still
the
wrong.
Reason was they
all
sucked.
Day.
That's why the reason.
All day, son.
But that was a lot of fun. Number
That's
3,
great.
The Shining. The Shining episode was great. That was, like Dad said, for the longest time, that was our biggest hit, our biggest viewed, our most viewed video on this channel. And anytime any of my coworkers or any of my friends ask, "Hey, how do I find your podcast?" I still, to this day, I say, look up Remember That The Shining. That's the best way to find it on YouTube. That's how I find it on YouTube. And that's just how critical that that show was to our channel. It was the first, even in front of the last two, top 2 episodes that we did. The Shining episode was the first episode that we saw we could get to 1,000 views someday. Like it went off, and it made it a possibility. And the conversations we had with that movie, we got the Stephen King ties, which everyone knows I love Stephen King, and then the movie itself, fantastic. I had a coworker a couple days ago watch the episode for the first time. I mean, everyone that watches that episode tends to like that episode. So, and I think, Bronson, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's the episode I told you. It could have been the second movie, the next movie I'm about to say, but I think The Shining maybe was one of the movies I told you to, or episodes I told you to watch. But at number 2, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre episode. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is my favorite movie. One of my favorite movies, at least. We watched a lot of great movies, but the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is great. I love it because it's a lot more in depth than what people give it credit for. And that's why we decided, I remember it was one of the episodes I came on and we started talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I started giving some of those facts. And I remember Corky, he said, "I didn't know that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre had any of this, meant any of this. Let's do an episode." And
Absolutely.
that was a big episode for me. That was my first suggested episode, and when it took off, it was validating to me, just to feel like, hey, I actually add something to the show. I'm not just Daniel's son or something on the show. I add something, and I'm able to come up with suggestions and talk about a movie, and people actually care enough to listen. And on our old channel, I think it's still maybe the highest viewed video on the old channel. So I loved it. And then number 1, my favorite episode to record was the Exorcist episode. This from multiple reasons. I love the movie. Everyone already knows at this point that listens to the podcast, but I'm Catholic. So being able to talk about kind of the religious aspects a little bit in that, plus all the symbolism. I mean, The Exorcist may be the most symbolic movie that we've reviewed so far, possibly. It was just a ton of fun. I loved it. It was one of the first movies I remember writing a lot of notes for. And I learned a lot, and now it's changed my opinion on that movie. For the longest time, I thought the movie was just mediocre. And after actually studying the movie and studying all the symbols in the movie, it's now a top 10 movie for me. So I know that was a little long-winded, but that's my top 5. And now we'll kick it off to Cade.
That's a good top 5, man. That's good.
Yeah. Funny you mentioned The Exorcist. Number 1. That was the first episode that I watched of you guys. I think maybe The Exorcist was on the old channel, the new bash. So I can remember watching that. Actually, I have memories of driving to the gym, sitting in my truck, listening to you guys talk about The Exorcist, and then getting all the memories of my childhood where I was deadly afraid of that movie. So, that was just that's pretty awesome. But yeah, I'll start with my top 5 here. I do want to say I'm thankful for everybody on the show here. This is like a dream of mine as well, to be able to talk about, science fiction, horror movies, video games. This is just something that I do all the time, talk to myself. So my wife was super pumped when I started doing this, because I don't have to sit there and, talk her ear off about something she didn't really give a crap about. Right. So, I appreciate that. But starting at
this gives everybody an outlet. This gives everybody an outlet. All of our wives
let our nerds
get to take a break, and it's like, okay, now they're gonna do their thing. That's good.
Exactly. That's my thoughts exactly. My number 5 for episodes / movies we reviewed this year is actually Halloween. It's always fun talking with you guys about slashers, especially Daniel and Corky. We know these guys love slasher movies. We know how big they are in the 80s. I know Halloween came out in the 70s, but we know the slasher genre. These guys, they know so much about it. Like, I learned so much just doing that episode. And, a lot of the movies we've done this year, I've learned a lot from everybody, Brent and Bryson. Everybody knows their stuff. So I love doing the Halloween with you guys. Next, for me, number 4 spot is The Shining. Much like how kind of like Brent feels about this movie, I did a lot of research on this one for the show. I remember taking a lot of notes, paying attention to our main characters and some of the behaviors that they were exhibiting in the film, and just looking at all the minute details. And this one really made me think. So I really, really loved doing The Shining. So that was my number 4. My number 3 is actually Alien. Like Daniel said earlier, this was my first episode with the gang, and well, not my first episode, my second one, but my first suggestion. And I love that movie, and it was fun being able to talk about some of the interesting facts that you guys may have not heard about it or known about because maybe you weren't as big of a fan of it as I was. But I love doing that one. And number 2 for me is actually It. So our good pal Brent is a huge Stephen King guy. He's actually the reason why I'm reading through the Dark Tower series right now and all of the other extra Stephen King material. So I gotta give a shout out to Brent because he opened me up to like Stephen King, and he's amazing. So Brent displayed so much
me
knowledge.
As well. I didn't realize that story was as deep as it is.
Yes,
man.
with how layered it all is, the connected universe that Stephen King made. It was so fun to talk with Brent about Pennywise's origins, from like the Deadlights to him being in Derry and doing all his monster things. I mean, it was so fun to talk about that, and I literally watch stuff about it all the time. So that was kind of like a dream of mine to do. And then number 1 for me, since we've started doing this, I kind of flipped between 2. But this is also my favorite movie I watched this year. Actually, The Thing. This movie was so cool. The not knowing who the killer was, where the alien was, who was infected, that whole entire idea was so clever to me. And I thought that the special effects, which, spoiler for my special effects, this movie was insanely good. And I enjoyed talking about it with you guys. And then also number 1 has to be The Howling 2. I mean, that we've said enough about it, but it was so funny watching that movie. That was some of the best laughs we've ever had together. So that's kind of my top 5 rounded out there, fellas.
That's a good top 5, man. That's good.
Cool.
So has everybody went, or we still got
Bryson?
Bryson?
We got Bryson. We got the professor himself.
Last. Okay.
The professor himself is on deck right here.
Yes, sir.
He's about to teach. He's about to teach.
He's about, yes, that's right. He's about to teach.
Yeah, class is in session, sir.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So we when you sent that message to us on doing the top 5, I think I interpreted it differently than y'all. So y'all had put your top 5 in as your favorite episodes to record. I put my top 5 in as my favorite movies that we've covered. So for me,
there's no wrong. There's no wrong answer to this. So.
Right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So I have only stuck with movies that we have covered where I have been a part of the show. I didn't go back before I joined and included those because Alien would definitely be on my list. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. But just from the episodes that I've been on and my favorite movies, and then I've got 2 honorable mentions for my actual favorite episodes that we recorded. But my favorite movies that we've touched on are Return of the Living Dead is number 5. Number 4 would be Sleepaway Camp. Because I just love that movie. It's just such a fun watch. Number 3 would be Evil Dead. That's always been one of my favorites. Such a fun movie. And even when I was younger and watched that, it just freaked me out. And just the special effects of that movie are awesome. Ash, what a great character. You can't go wrong with Bruce Campbell.
No, sir.
Number 4 would be Nightmare on Elm Street. Every time I watch that movie, I remember how much I like that movie. Like, it's one of those staples. Freddy Krueger's everywhere when it comes to those like icon characters. And so obviously I always hold them at high regard because they got to that status for a reason. But something about Nightmare on Elm Street. Every time I go back and rewatch it, I really do remember how much I like that movie. But my number one, I'm gonna have to go with Cade, would be The Thing. That movie is so cool.
Nice.
The concept, the mystery, the special effects, the acting, all of it just top tier all the way through. So those are my top 5 favorite movies that we've covered. But my 2 honorable mentions for my favorite episodes that I've been on, one would be The Evil Dead, because that was the first episode that I joined in with y'all. But my number one favorite episode that we've recorded is The Decades of Horror. That was just such a fun episode to talk about, and for us to go back and forth with it. So that would be my number one episode that we recorded.
That's a good list, baby.
Awesome, man.
That's a good list.
Everyone had great lists.
Kay, can you give us a quick recap on that, my friend?
Yeah.
Man.
So, starting with the first person here, like Corky, he was our first guy to give his top 5. His top 5 was number 1 was Howling 2, and then number 2 we had the Decades of Horror episode, and then following 3, 4, and 5 we got Halloween 4, Halloween 2, and the Return of the Living Dead. Daniel comes in next.
Yeah,
his top movie this year that he / episode he enjoyed was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Following up to that is Alien. Then we have Halloween 4, The Shining, and Jaws. Next we have Mr. Brent coming in here at number 1. His was The Exorcist. His number 2 was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, followed by The Shining, our Decades of Horror episode, and Silence of the Lambs. And then for myself, I have The Thing at number 1. I got It and Pennywise at number 2, followed by Alien, The Shining, and Halloween. And then the professor himself, I sent his list. Number 1 was The Thing. Number 2, Nightmare on Elm Street, followed by Evil Dead, Sleepaway Camp, and lastly, Return of the Living Dead. So that's kind of how we have everything listed out so far. And I'm seeing a lot of, us having similar movies in our top 5. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre appears with Daniel and Brent, obviously.
Looks like, the Texas, whenever you start compiling all the data, it looks like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is going to be in there. The Shining is going to be in there. Halloween 4 is probably going to be in there.
The Decades of Horror.
The Decades of Horror is definitely going to be in there.
Yes.
That's good stuff, man.
Yeah. Awesome shows, man. They were all fun to do.
We covered a lot of iconic movies, and it was so fun. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. So I think what we're going to do now, man, as we're breaking down this fun year we've had, we're going to give out some awards.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess, it'll be just like our top 5s. Everybody's may be a little bit different, but the first award for the 2025 season is going to be Best Kill Scene. Now, I'll take you this first one. To me, the most memorable kill scene, the best kill scene from any movie we reviewed this year, in my opinion, has to be Tina's death scene from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 1. That is an iconic death scene, no matter what movie you what decade it's in, whatever's going on. To see her lifted up, drug across the ceiling, ripped to shreds, that is practical effects at its best right there. Iconic death scene, from an iconic movie. So for my vote for, best death scene is going to be Tina from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 1. Daniel, I'll kick it over to you. What do you got, buddy?
Man, that's strong. And I'll tell you what, before I give you my death scene, we have mentioned at this point Nightmare on Elm Street twice, okay?
Yeah.
And Nightmare on Elm Street didn't get a lot of love from the viewers.
Surprisingly.
I know it, and it was very surprising. So I want to go ahead and create a category that is the most surprising movie that didn't get good views. However it is that you want to put
the
that.
The WTF section.
That's the WTF. Yes, exactly. That's the WTF category. Okay. That's going to be my vote for the WTF is Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't know why it didn't get a lot of views, but it didn't.
Yeah, I have to concur with that. Yeah.
And man, it needed to. Your
I know why, Daniel.
Corky. It's because we didn't have the hashtags.
Yeah, we didn't have the
we didn't have hashtags on it.
Yeah, that was it.
It didn't get put out there. Okay, well, so I'm gonna go ahead That's my WTF. Okay, we've created the category.
I'll
WTF.
second that one. I'll second that one.
So I'll go ahead and get right into my best death scene. And this death scene is not a death scene because it's good. It's not my favorite because it's a great death scene.
Go ahead and sell it. Whatever. Sell that scene, Dad. Great job.
Man, I'll tell you what. I tell you what. This death scene was so funny. And I have made fun of this death scene so many times from the very first time that I saw it all the way up until now. But the Halloween 4 Bucky death scene.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Oh, man. Bucky, if he's not number one, because Tina is very strong. And I'll go ahead and second that for Corky. But if we have a top 5 for this, Bucky has got to be in the top 5. He got to be.
Yes, Bucky's death was memorable. I'll say that.
Oh, man. Bucky.
Yes.
But Brent,
all
go
right.
ahead.
Who's up next?
I'll shoot it over to Brent.
All right. So my most memorable death scene or best death scene is, I don't even know the guy's name, but is the guy in a wheelchair being pushed down the stairs in Friday the 13th part.
What was his name?
I can't remember what that was.
It was the one in the cabin, part 2.
That scared the crap out of me when I
think it was part 2. It was part 2 because that was actually
it was part 2.
The killings.
He took the machete to the face backwards. That machete was backwards.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. It was so low budget.
And then he gets kicked down the stairs. Yeah, that's a memorable.
So let me say this real quick, guys. I like this, Brent, because not only is an invalid getting killed, but he's getting chopped in the face by a backwards machete and kicked down the steps. You know, that's
speaking
hilarious.
of funny jokes that we've had, that was probably the second. And it wasn't even meant to be a joke, but one of the second.
Talking about Daniel's invalid uncle.
Yes, his dad's invalid uncle. It's like, dude, what are you talking about? Invalid uncle.
That's so awesome.
That's hilarious. All right, Cade, what you got, buddy?
Yeah, so this is from a recent episode of ours, but my favorite kill was in The Thing, and it was when McReady, he was basically at this point, he was kind of going off the deep end, interrogating everybody and, defending himself. One of the guys that was infected, I can't remember his name, but essentially his face opens up and turns into all these teeth. And he grabs this guy in front of him and literally starts to eat his face with his newly formed body where he was infected. And then he ragdolls him and throws him around the room and starts going crazy. That one to me stuck out as one of my favorite kills, I'd say. So mine's from The Thing.
Awesome. Yeah, The Thing. That was another sleeper hit for me. That's great movie, man. Bryson, give me that best death scene from you, buddy.
Oh, man, I really had a hard time choosing. There was just so many good ones because we really have covered some great movies. And I know we throw around honorable mentions, but I wanted to give an honorable mention to old Johnny Depp there getting sucked into that bed on Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
I have to mention that
I'll give
one.
him an honorable mention. Yeah.
That was great. But I might have to go with The Thing. In the dock when he's looking at that guy and his stomach opens up and chops his arms off.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And just that whole scene, the way it unfolded with the head drooping off the table and growing those spider legs, that whole scene was crazy. But yeah, if you've never seen that movie before, that's when the movie really gets crazy, other than the whole dog pen scene, because that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That dog eating the fence kind of set it out for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when that stomach opens up and just taunts his arms, that was wild.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Man, those are some good death scenes.
I just want to say something that's going to crack you guys up is that I haven't seen The Thing yet. So every time
you didn't make that episode, did you?
Every time Cade and Bronson started talking about The Thing, I had to mute myself. So I see Cade going, and then I see Bronson going, I don't know what I'm getting myself into.
Brent, you definitely need to go ahead and put that on your list, man.
It's one of the best movies I've seen.
You got to watch that.
Oh, I need to.
You got
that one.
Yeah, it's super good, man. Especially with the director from Shining making it.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was John Carpenter.
Yeah, John Carpenter.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
but
John Carpenter. My bad.
But that's on my list. But yeah, no spoiler. That's why I got to mute it every time. I'm like, I'm gonna hear something.
All right. So that was our Beth death scenes in a movie. So Cade, break that back down for us, buddy.
Yeah. So for our best kills, starting with Corky, we have Tina from Nightmare on Elm Street when she died. Next with Daniel here, we got Bucky from Halloween 4. Moving on from there, myself, I've got The Thing with the gentleman with his face turning into a monster and biting that guy's head off almost. Then with Brent, we've got the wheelchair guy from Halloween. From Friday the 13th Part 2. That's I forgot about that. That was a really good one. And then Bryson's was also from The Thing with the doc on the table and his stomach turning into the infected monster. So that's honestly a pretty good list of kills there. All those are definitely worth going and look up on YouTube if you haven't, guys.
So
yeah, no doubt.
So out of our 5 that we've given, because we've all give different ones, let's have a small debate here and find out who's gonna get the remember that number 1 kill scene. So
well, I have to go with Tina because as bad as Bryson's was, Tina's death is just iconic in my mind.
So
that's a hard one, man. That's a hard one.
It is a hard one. It is a hard one. Out of
even
our
the
nominees,
Johnny Depp scene should be in there.
So even our nominees, you've got our 5 nominees here. My vote is going to go for Tina as well because that was just a hardcore death scene. It was practical effects. The scene was very difficult to create. And it was like I said, it was early to mid 80s. It was a hardcore scene, and it was a very serious kill scene. It wasn't funny like mine was. So that gets my vote right there. Brent, out of the nominees, who gets your vote?
Yeah, I can't really vote for Kay's or Bryson's because I haven't seen them yet. So I guess I've got to vote for Tina. That was that's pretty brutal.
Yeah, concur. So I guess Tina takes it because
we got 3 out of 5. Cade and Bryson, I want to hear you guys weigh in though, because your opinions count.
Well, look, the Tina kill scene
Bryson,
is
go
crazy. They had to build a whole room to tilt for her to do that. So just the work put into that alone was awesome just for that one scene.
That's right.
And it is very serious. And when you do see it for the first time, it's shocking, especially for that time period of that movie coming out. So yeah, I'll give it to Tina. That's fine.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
sweet.
I'm actually
so
watching.
Tina's going to take overall.
Yeah, I think that deserves. I'm rewatching the scene right now. That's a gruesome death, dude.
Yeah.
That's hardcore. And
it really is, man. And it's a serious death scene, like Daniel said. There's nothing funny about it,
And in the movie, I know that the girl Amanda Weiss, I think she was like 20 or 21 whenever she filmed that scene. But in the movie, she is actually supposed to be a 15-year-old girl.
Yes,
which makes it even harder core.
Yes, and we could get into some other. Never mind. I'm not going to start that, whole conversation about why this 15-year-old girl's hanging out like she is. But hey, that's for another podcast.
Right. That's,
Okay, guys. So our next category we're going to give an award out for is Best Special Effects. Now, I'll take this one. I'll start off. So I had 2 movies I had to think about. Brent, you may want to mute your mic here, buddy. So here's what I'm thinking when I had to sit down and think about this category, because, man, to me, special effects is big. It can make or break a movie. So obviously I thought about Nightmare on Elm Street Part 1. You got the Tina death scene. You've got the Johnny Depp pool scene or waterbed scene. Even the scene where Freddy's hands get real long when he's walking down the alley there. Man, all that is just great special effects when he chops off his finger. That movie had a lot of great special effects. Then you go over to The Thing. Some of those special effects are amazing for the time period. And I really had to sit down and just weigh this out. And I'm honestly going to have to give the movie with best special effects to The Thing, because those practical effects are just awesome. The creatures they made, the exploding heads and ripping open stomachs, all that stuff was just, not that Nightmare on Elm Street didn't have great special effects, because believe me, it did. But the detail they went into with The Thing is just unmatched, in my opinion. So I have to give it to The Thing. Daniel, what do you give it, buddy?
All right. So I was thinking The Thing as well. I ended up going with Alien, and it was because of one particular scene. And it was dude that played the Hobbit. He was the guy he was the doctor.
You're talking about the android
that set everybody else up on. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, he had already been killed. His head was sitting there, you know, talking to him, and it looked completely real, even though it was practical effect. That and the way that they filmed the alien, the way that the alien was actually shown on the film, that got my number one. But I will say that The Thing, just in general, overall, is a strong number two, and it could easily tie my number one, because The Thing had some really good special effects. But my number one, I'm saying, is Alien. Brent?
Awesome.
Yeah, I put Alien as well. And I give credit for when it was made. So being made in the early 80s or late 70s.
It was 1978.
Late 70s.
And that also played into my score there for it.
So yeah, being made in 1978 and all of the practical effects. I mean, we've made it known on the show our love for practical effects, but that's the best. I mean, CGI a lot of times sucks. So practical effects just looks better, even if it looks cheesy. It's just better than bad CGI. So I give Alien, and also Dad had the category of the WTF. My WTF award probably would go to the Psycho episode. I thought the Psycho episode would do a little bit better than what it did.
Yeah.
I think
that was also our last non-video episode as well.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
After that, we went to video.
It got 160 something views. I was expecting it to do a lot better than that, because that was when we were on we were on a tear there for a little while of making videos that would get up to 500 and 600 views. So it was a little bit surprising that I didn't do as well. But anyway, that's my WTF.
Something is out there. Ghosts, cryptids, aliens, the things that haunt your nightmares are very real. Join host Corky Derrick every Thursday at 7 p.m. on Midnight Realm Radio as he takes you inside the paranormal war room, where true encounters with the unexplained come to life. Listen to the Paranormal War Room Thursdays on Midnight Realm Radio at 7 p.m. and anytime on YouTube and Spotify.
In the paranormal war room, the legends are
4. All right, WTF.
Awesome. Cade, you're up, buddy.
Oh man, I'm so conflicted now because you guys brought up Alien, and in my head I already had my special effects award, set aside for this movie because in Alien, everything from the retro looking controls in the ship to the actual ship itself, I'm pretty sure they made a scale model of the ship for that, and filmed it to make it look like it did in outer space. So I have to say this is tough for me, but I will have to stick with my original answer with The Thing. This movie, seeing the monster or the alien actually infect things such as the dog, and you see all these, weird looking material coming out of the dog. It looks like these red strings, these monstrous faces, and then we go to the table scene with the doc where his stomach opens up, and we see his head, falling off the table. I mean, for what they were doing is insane, and I'm pretty sure the gentleman who made the special effects, he worked endlessly on that and had to go. I think maybe he had to even go to the hospital because of how long he was working, days in a row, to make it for this movie. So my special effects award is actually going to go to The Thing. But that, honestly, the Alien could take that from me as well, and also Evil Dead. That's something else that I was thinking could have been an honorable mention there.
That was good. Good.
Awesome. Yeah, Evil Dead. I forgot all about Evil Dead. It had some good effects to it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like, honestly, looking back at this thing, Corky had The Thing, I had Alien, Brent had Alien, and now Cade has The Thing. So you got 2 Thing, 2 Alien. Bryson is basically the tiebreaker here.
Let's hear it, buddy.
Yeah,
so let's do it.
So my honorable mention is the Evil Dead. I'm going to give that as my honorable mention, but it's not my top. My top is The Thing. So that does break the tie there. That movie, the first time I saw that movie, I was blown away, and every time I've watched it after, I've still been blown away. top-notch movie, one of my top 10 movies just in general of all time, let alone horror, mainly because of the special effects. That it's on its own level.
Exactly. It's definitely on its own
100%,
level. Great
100%.
movie, man. Brent, I'm excited. We may just have a little section after you watch that movie on a podcast just to hear your thoughts about that movie.
I really want to hear your thoughts. That is a good movie. That is a good movie.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. When you watch the movie, Brent, we're going to come on and do like a 30-minute show just dedicated to your thoughts on the thing. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Brother, I'll watch it again.
Yeah.
I'll watch it again.
It's
a good,
So will I.
It's a great winter horror movie, right? Like that's
And
it's kind of like
It's really, Brent, honestly, one of the best movies ever made. It really is, dude. It's freaking awesome, dude.
I'm really excited to watch it.
For a long time, I didn't watch it very often just because.
Neither did I.
Just because of the science fiction element for it, right? But, man, I'm telling you, I have had a whole lot more appreciation for a lot of these movies, and that's one of them. And
I mean, do you guys think it's better than? Do you think it's John Carpenter's best movie he's ever made, or do you still think Halloween's better?
No, I don't think it's John Carpenter's
two different
best
movies
movie ever made.
Yeah, it's two
That's
different movies.
two separate movies, but it is a very solid movie. It's a
it
very
really
good
is.
movie.
You'll enjoy it.
I'm getting different opinions because Bryson was quick with the yes. It is.
I think it's better.
Well, see, Bryson, Halloween probably doesn't hold a place in his heart like it does in mine and Daniel's heart, though.
Yeah, I do love Halloween.
It's a great movie.
Don't get me wrong. I do love Michael Myers. I really do. I even like Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. It's in the same technically same franchise, at least the John Carpenter's version of the franchise. I do really love Halloween, but for me, the thing, it hits everything. And sometimes when I watch a Michael Myers movie, there's parts that I'm like, come on, like, why did this person do this, or why did that person do? But when I watch The Thing, it's flawless. Like, the whole movie is just there's nothing that I can say, well, why did that? I don't understand, or that's a little dumb or a little hokey. Like, that movie's just solid all the way through.
That's something about it. That really is something about it. It's like so when you're watching movies like Halloween and you're watching movies like Friday the 13th, you're going, you had some dumb people
that was
did
silly,
some dumb stuff that pretty much got what was coming to them. In The Thing, you pretty much had everybody that as soon as they found out what was going on, they were all going, okay, let's make some smart decisions. And they all tried to make the smartest decision that they could, and bad things still happened. And so I'm with you, Bryson. 100%.
Well, I'm going to watch it, and I had to mute pretty much all that Dad said, but I'm going to watch it, and I will let you...
I didn't put any spoilers.
I'll let you know.
I didn't put any spoilers in there.
I don't know. It's better to be safe than sorry.
I didn't put any spoilers in there.
I'll watch it soon, and I'll let you guys know my thoughts. I'm super excited about it. I've heard it's a lot of people's favorite horror movie of all time.
If you had not watched this movie, you are missing out. It's good.
Yeah, it's definitely good.
We'll push through.
So, our next category that we're going to give out an award for is Best Performance of an Actor and an Actress. Hey, Cade, welcome back, bud.
Yeah, sorry, I take a quick break, guys.
Cade is back.
I'm back.
So, Cade, we're moving on to Best Actress/Actor Performance of a Movie, okay?
Sweet. Yep. Let's do it.
All right, so I'll kick it off. My award for Best, I'll say, Actress has to go to... you know what? I just lost her freaking name. Laurie from Halloween 1. What's her name?
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis. I was going to say Jamie Lee McKenzie or something like that. So Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lee McKenzie just won. No.
Jamie Lee McKenzie.
Yeah, I'm going to give it
starting nothing.
I'm going to give it to Jamie Lee Curtis because not that I think she done this stellar performance, but she did create an iconic role in Laurie Strode. I think she done... I mean, as good as that role could be done, she created the Scream Queen. I'll give it to Jamie Lee Curtis. And having said that, I'll move it on to Daniel. What'd you give it, buddy?
All right. So for Best Performance, hear me out here. I have to
Jamie
explain
Lee
this.
McKenzie.
Donald Pleasance was already Blofeld in James Bond. He was already a James Bond villain even before he was Dr. Loomis in Halloween. Okay. So you take this very serious actor, okay, and you put him in this role of, in John Carpenter's own words, we were just kids making a movie. Okay. So Donald Pleasance comes onto this movie and he delivers the best character for any slasher film that is the anti-slasher. He is the person that is going after Michael Myers. He is the doctor. He is Dr. Loomis. And he gives some stellar monologues. Okay. And I mean
6 times.
Yeah. The monologue where he is talking about, he had the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. I met him when he was 6 years old. I was told there was nothing left. He did that. And dude, you can't, when you talk about, Christopher Lee, he dumped on the role. He said, no, I'm too important for this role. Peter Cushing did the same thing. He said, Peter Cushing, I'm Van
Christopher
Helsing,
Lee didn't do Halloween, but he'd do Halloween 2.
He did the Halloween.
Right.
Yeah.
So Donald Pleasance,
he makes the
Donald
best
Pleasance,
life decisions,
Donald Pleasance already is Blofeld. He is and I love James Bond movies. He was already Blofeld, and he comes in and he blows this character completely out of the water. If you take Michael Myers away from Halloween, you don't have Halloween. If you take Dr. Loomis away from Halloween, you don't have Halloween. So my number one for best performance, 100% is going to be Dr. Loomis.
Agree with that. Brent, your turn, buddy.
All right. So, my actor was Anthony Perkins, who played Norman Bates. I think that his performance of Norman Bates is fantastic, super iconic. He's got that kind of nerdy little shy guy. Like, he's able to play a nerdy shy character, but at the same time play a psychotic murderer. And so I think his performance was iconic. And also, I believe her name is Jodie Foster, but the actress who played in The Silence of the Lambs, absolutely phenomenal. And as far as monologues go on the show, her monologue where she's talking about her being raised on the farm in Montana and hearing the lambs cry when they go to the slaughterhouse. I mean, that's an iconic monologue, the best monologue in my opinion we've had on the show. So that's a honorable mention.
Awesome. I can definitely agree with that, bro. All right, let's kick it over to Cade, man. What you got?
Yeah, so we watched a ton of great movies this year, had a ton of great performances. And one of my favorites and one of my favorite characters in horror is Pennywise. And so I really think that my favorite performance this year was Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise in It. This man, I mean, he brought Pennywise to the big screen in a way that, we'd seen him previously done in the 90s It film. And that actor, I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. Obviously, he did a fantastic job in showing the goofiness. Tim Curry. Yeah, Tim Curry did a wonderful job as Pennywise. But, Bill Skarsgård with his creepy smile, the voice he used for Pennywise, the menacing, yet, friendly clown that he was portraying as the monster. I mean, it to this day, I mean, it's still crazy watching. And I'm not even really afraid of clowns. And I recently just watched, which hopefully maybe we'll talk about this if everybody watched it, but Welcome to Derry, the new It show they came with on HBO Max. He's in this. He reprises his role again as Pennywise, and he kills it again. Like, I'm not afraid of clowns. I'm afraid of that clown. Okay, like he did a fantastic job. So I'm gonna have to give it to Bill Skarsgård from It.
Man, that's a solid pick, man. Good job on
that.
It
is. Yeah, it is.
Bryson,
Brent,
you're up to
Brent
bat,
had
buddy.
a good one too.
My honorable mention was Anthony Perkins in Psycho. He was almost my pick. Just everything that Brent said about him. But I am gonna have to go with my boy, Dr. Loomis, Donald Pleasance. I'm right there with Daniel. Love that guy. Love that performance. You can't go wrong. Honestly, sometimes I just want to watch Dr. Loomis, and it doesn't even matter if Michael Myers comes back. Michael Myers could get in a cab, and he could go to a whole different town and city, and I could still watch Dr. Loomis running around trying to find him, and that would still be a great movie.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's a pretty good take on it. You know what? I'm gonna be straight. I never gave Donald Pleasance. I didn't even consider him, but now that I hear you guys talk about it, I would like to change my vote and give it to him. You know.
And
So,
I'll throw in an honorable mention because I hadn't heard him mention with us, but my honorable mention is going to be Anthony Hopkins for Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah. He was also going to be one of my honorable mentions, but I didn't want to give 2 honorable mentions.
Right.
But yeah. No, he killed it as well.
Sweet.
So, Cade, where we at? I know that we have 2 for Donald Pleasance, and then
3 counting me now.
So we have swayed Corky.
Yeah.
So
yes.
All right.
I got 1.5 for 1.5 for Anthony Hopkins.
1.5 for Anthony Perkins.
Yeah. So for our best performance here, Corky originally listed Jamie Lee Curtis from Halloween. Obviously,
Jamie Lee McKenzie
changing his to Donald Pleasance. Yeah, Jamie Lee McKenzie. I don't know who that is, but we're putting her in here.
She got the Werewolf Nipple Award.
Oh, yeah. So we got Corky with Donald Pleasance. Going to Daniel, he was also Donald Pleasance. Going to Brent, he was Anthony Perkins from Psycho. Myself, I'm with Bill Skarsgård from It. And then Bryson also gave a mention to Donald Pleasance. So remember that, for best performance, we're obviously going with the man who shot Michael Myers 6 times. So, and he made sure that everybody knew that.
He shot him 6 times.
You don't know what death is?
6 times.
Sweet.
Donald Pleasance ain't playing no humbug.
He's screaming at a guy that's burning alive. You don't know what death is.
You don't know what death is.
He just moves on from him. He's the best.
Donald Pleasance ain't playing no humbug. He ain't playing no humbug.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we got 2 awards left. The next award is going to go to best music in a film that we have reviewed this year. And man, again, for me, I had 2 toss-ups. One was going to be Nightmare on Elm Street, and the second one was going to be Halloween Part 1. So you have 2 simply iconic movies, 2 iconic, you've got the Freddy's Nursery Rhyme from Nightmare on Elm Street. Then you have the iconic Michael Myers, piano music. And so I had to, basically just think about it for a minute. And at the end of the day, I'm going to give it to Halloween because I challenge anybody to come up with a more iconic, what's it called? Like music? I don't know what word I'm looking for. Theme, yeah. I challenge anybody to play that music. And there are people that's never even seen that movie will know what it's from. So,
hey, mine may be able to top yours.
Ooh, I'm excited to hear
mine as well.
But my vote's going to go to the Halloween soundtrack. And having, said that, kick it over to Daniel. What do you got?
So I think that Corky's already said it all. When it comes to horror movies, okay, there is none more iconic than John Carpenter's theme. It's a 4/4. I don't know music, but he said that he made it in 4/4. It is the Halloween theme. And it's not just the Halloween theme. It is the entire soundtrack that's played all through this movie. It's Laurie's theme. It's The Haunted House. It's, Better Check on Your Kids. All of that is the entire soundtrack. And for best music, best soundtrack, best theme, you can't top Halloween for me. You just can't. That's going to be number 1. That's the first thing that come to my mind, and nothing else even come close to it. So, Brent, I'll go ahead and kick it over to you.
All right. Me and Cade may be thinking about the same theme, but hey, I love the Halloween theme. I mean, it is one of the most iconic themes, but I think the most iconic theme song that we've had for a movie that we watched is the Jaws theme.
Yes.
You're talking about, like, yes, when you hear the Halloween theme, we as horror movie kind of buffs, we know what it is. But I mean, Jaws theme has exceeded movies. I mean, the Florida Gators. I hate the Florida Gators. They play the Jaws theme on a regular basis to get the crowd kind of into it in the swamp. I mean, everyone knows bum bum. Like just that first little tune, you can get tense, like something bad is about to happen. So,
well,
and it's been spoofed in cartoons, it's been spoofed in other movies. It's super. I would say it's the most iconic horror movie theme song. I will
say that the Jaws theme was my number 2, and for the casual moviegoer, they might be able to identify the Jaws theme more than what they could identify Halloween, but Halloween's still number 1 for me. Jaws is definitely second place, but it's a strong second. Good deal.
Yeah, I can't take nothing from the Jaws theme. I just simply like the Halloween theme better. That's just what puts it up over the top for me. Who's next?
Cade, what you got?
Yeah, so Brent has kind of spoiled my answer for you guys a little bit here, but
dun, dun, dun.
I'm gonna go with Jaws and its soundtrack. And I guess my backup for this is let's think of screen time, okay, in the movie. Halloween, Michael Myers, I was looking this up, had around 10 minutes of screen time in the first Halloween film. In Jaws, the shark was only seen for a total of 4 minutes. And this is one of the most iconic horror movies of all time because of the theme song and what's potentially lurking in the waters where you don't even see the shark. One scene in particular that sticks out to me is, I believe maybe it's towards the beginning of the movie in Jaws. There is a scene, the first death. There's like a really sharp sound from the soundtrack that makes you jump. And it's a big, kind of a big jump scare. And you see these throughout the movie. So I've gotta, praise Jaws for the soundtrack here. Although Halloween, and when it's October, that's all I want to hear in the truck. I'm forcing Olivia to listen to it while I'm getting ready. I agree with y'all 100%. But gotta give it to Jaws here.
And the crazy thing is, if you were to ask John Carpenter, he may have been influenced by Jaws. He may say that the Jaws theme song is the greatest horror movie theme song of all time. So we never know. But anyway, Bronson, you're the tiebreaker again.
So I am the tiebreaker, and it was boiled down to 2 for me. And so I'm just going to go ahead and say Halloween because it was one of my 2, and that would be the tiebreaker. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out there. But my other one, that I'm surprised no one else has mentioned, my other one is Psycho. That music is awesome, and that's another iconic thing. With that shower scene, that's
very well known.
So I will go ahead and just lean more towards Halloween just to make it the tiebreaker, because if I chose Psycho, then Brent and Cade would be the same, and then Daniel and Corky would be the same. So we would be kind of at a landlock. So I'll say Halloween, but Psycho, it killed it. And it's also super iconic. It gets spoofed a lot as well.
Yeah, I forgot about Psycho. That's a fantastic answer. I forgot about that.
Right. All right, guys, we've come to that point of the show where I've been waiting on since we started this show. And first and foremost, this award is going to be called the Werewolf Nipple Award. And, of course, it came out of our episode we done when we reviewed The Howling 2. And so I guess the first thing we need to just put out on the table is let's define this award. Is it going to be what does this award mean?
So I was putting it as the worst movies or the worst movie in general we watched on the podcast.
That's what I was doing.
But if you want to do it as
that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. So
like if you want to say because we're a horror movie podcast, right? So if you want to say the movie was so bad that it was comical. So if you want to say it's the funniest, it was the funniest movie. It was the worst movie. It was, it's to me, it had a negative connotation. So the Werewolf Nipple Award has a werewolf connotation. It has a negative connotation to it. That's the way that I looked at it. Bryce and Cade, how did you guys look at it?
I based my answer off of Yeah, about the same. You know, rewatchability, that I enjoy watching it. Stuff, pretty much those two main things.
And I'll go ahead and say my honorable mention to the Werewolf Nipple is going to be Trash from Return to the Living Dead.
Oh, so you're going to give it to an actual person? Okay. Well.
Oh, I just gave it to the movies.
No.
Well,
it's gonna be
give
given
a werewolf nipple out. Yeah.
It's gonna be given to a movie. Return to the Living Dead, simply for Trash. That would have been my runner up.
Gotcha.
Well,
okay.
she may be a winner too, but I tell you what, I'll just run with it. The Werewolf Nipple Award from me is going to go to what it came from, the Halloween 2. That movie is so bad. Yeah, the Howling 2. That movie is so bad, it's freaking awesome. And nothing, and I'm telling you right now, nothing on this earth deserves a Werewolf Nipple Award like the Howling 2. So, all right. Howling 2 gets the Werewolf Nipple Award from me. Daniel, what are you giving the Werewolf Nipple Award to?
Well, we have an entire category that's about the Howling 2. And our category is the Werewolf Nipple Award. So you can't get more werewolf nipply than the Howling 2. So Howling 2 gets it for me. Hands down. Brent, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for the first annual Werewolf Nipple Award, I think it's just fair to give the Werewolf Nipple Award to the Howling 2 its namesake. But I will say a close second is Thanksgiving because at least the Werewolf Nipple, at least the Howling 2 was fun to watch because it was funny. Thanksgiving, there were some parts of it that's like, this is like the price right mark, whatever, because the price is always right, whatever the crap that thing was. I don't know what we watched, but that was a pretty bad movie.
I'm gonna give that to you. Like Thanksgiving, it's Dark Horse that, it was so funny that it should have been a B movie, even though it wasn't a B movie. Eli Roth has made some really good horror movies. I mean, look at Hostel and Hostel 2, even Hostel 3.
Yeah.
Eli Roth is a good, legitimate director. Okay. And the people that was in Thanksgiving, you've got Patrick Dempsey, and a couple of the other people that were in some Eli Roth movies. They're legitimate actors as well. It's not like this is just a B movie. And for it to have come out as bad as what it did, I support Brent saying that, it's at least a mention. So yeah, I'm with you.
All right, who's up now? Cade, give us that WF Award there. Werewolf Nipple Award.
I'm gonna give the Werewolf Nipple Award to Civil War. No, I'm just kidding. No, this is from the Howling 2. This is Werewolf Nipple. And next year, when we review some more movies and we do another year recap, we'll be able to probably distribute this a little bit better. The only thing that I could say that would be a close second for this would have to be Return of the Living Dead, solely because that chick just decided to strip butt naked in the cemetery and just start dancing.
Yes.
And then she stayed naked the whole movie. Like, she didn't put her clothes back on for no reason.
She killed somebody naked. She went up and killed that guy just completely naked.
Right. Exactly. So like that's just, and then but the Howling 2, it's not a bad movie. Like, you're gonna watch it and you're gonna have a good time. Like, there's no way you watch it and unless you're
you're gonna
like
have a good time, that's for sure.
If you're a very serious person and you're like Martin Scorsese or whoever, you look at movies like art. This is obviously a different form of art, but it is deserving of the Werewolf Nipple Award.
Yeah, you know what kind of art that is? That's a fart.
That's
what we're gonna start calling these
cinema
movies.
Fart cinema. There we go.
Fart cinema.
Fart cinema.
Okay, Professor, you're up, buddy.
So I was not there for the Howling 2 episode, so therefore I felt like I could not vote for it. I haven't even seen the movie yet. I still need to watch it. So I went ahead and just chose Thanksgiving.
Oh, the Howling 2? Oh, man.
Oh, man.
You're missing
There's another 30-minute
Watch it
special
tonight.
episode right there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was going to say. We've got to record that.
Yeah.
Now, I've seen the
Those are
Howling
going to be
1,
Patreon episodes.
but I have not seen the Howling 2. But I did choose my Werewolf Nipple Award to be Thanksgiving. I did like the movie. At first, I hated it. For like the first 20 minutes, I was like, this movie is garbage. And then I realized, okay, this is a parody and it's supposed to be garbage. Let's have fun with it. So my vote would be Thanksgiving because I was not there for the Howling 2 episode.
Cool. All right. Well, hey, that's the end of the awards for us. So I don't know, guys. What'd you think about this year?
Well, that's the end of, I will say really quickly, that's the end of our movie rewards. But really quickly, we did want to give out personal awards. I think that would be a neat little thing, and I'll do it really quickly. And you guys can change them up if you have any different award that you think that you should win or whatever. But Corky, I think we all as a group probably would give you the MVP award.
Oh man, you guys.
The work that you do outside of the podcast. And he left. I thought Corky left.
Screw you guys. Screw Corky. Corky sucks.
The work that you do outside of the podcast. You were the person that got us the first sponsor. You edit the videos, you upload the video. Basically everything behind the scenes, except for just a couple small little things, Corky does. So MVP goes to Corky, and he's back. Now that we stopped talking about Corky, he's back. He just has
like, I ain't giving him no props for nothing, man. I'm out.
Corky gets the producer award, the MVP award.
I appreciate you guys.
That's going
to
be
most valuable producer.
He puts in a lot of work to this. He's done a whole lot to make the show grow as much as it has so far. And we're still adding stuff to it. You know, we're still trying to make it the best show possible. We're trying to put out the content that we want to listen to, that we think that we think that the audience wants to listen to. So that's 100% with Corky. He is the one that is producing the show. And so he's like the most important member that we have.
He's the most important member, and he's also kind of the leader of the group. He's the one that kind of leads everything. So definitely, in my opinion, the most deserving of the MVP award.
Well, I appreciate you guys, but
he is the Steve Rogers to our Avengers.
Well, there would not be no show without you guys either. I can upload these videos and edit them all I want to, but if there's 4 other blank seats sitting there ain't much of a show. So, you know, I want to appreciate you guys because this has become a very awesome hobby, you know, that I've taken up, and you guys have came along and just turned it into something real, man, because this little podcast that, you know, we all started talking about, it's actually turned into something pretty cool, man. And, you know, getting the amount of views that we get on each episode, even though we're not on Joe Rogan, you know, status, we're doing pretty good for us. So thank you guys for everything you do. You know, I really appreciate you guys.
Oh, well, it's been so much fun for me, and I know for all of us too. I'm sure it's been so much fun. So the next person, Bryson, I give Bryson, and again, I'm sure, you know, if anyone disagrees, let me know. But I give Bryson the Professor Award.
Yes, sir.
So Bryson, he comes in and immediately just notes, extremely studious. He's always bringing facts. He's never humbugging.
Never humbugging.
He makes sure to watch, you know, if we're watching a movie, he's always watching it. And he's always bringing, like I said, bringing a lot of fun facts. So, and he's one of the few people that I know that can go head to head with Dad and Corky on horror movie knowledge. And And the reason why we call him the professor, or I call him the professor anyways, because he's able to bridge that gap where Dad, he focuses mainly 70s and 80s. Well, Bryson, he's able to bridge that gap and talk about 70s and 80s, but also 90s and 2000s. And so he kind of has that knowledge, but from more decades, in my opinion. So that's why I give Bryson the Professor Award.
100%.
Yeah, Bryson.
Bryson's a very important addition.
Kate, I give you the Note Taker Award. You've done a fantastic job taking the notes for us. I mean, again, it's one of those things to where if we didn't have someone taking the notes, an episode like this couldn't take place. It wouldn't be as fun, you know. So you take time out of your day to do it. And also, talking about making sure you're prepared and everything, you're super prepared all the time as well. So
thank you so much.
I'll give you credit. So you get the Note Dad. He gets the Trivia Master Award.
Nice.
I know that he loves it. He takes time. Every movie that we watch, he's taking notes, and he's always thinking about what questions that he could ask us. And again, the episodes wouldn't be the same without Dad on the show to take those trivia, ask the trivia questions. And so we have that trivia segment on our show. So I give Dad the Trivia Master Award.
Well, Brent, awesome. I don't know if you've got anything for yourself, but I think you deserve an award, and I'm sure Corky would agree. I would like to deem this award like the philosophical award, the deep thinker award, because in a lot of these films that we watch,
that deep thinker award. Yeah,
I think you really deserve that, because one of the biggest things you bring to the show is the deep thinking that philosophers from back in the 1600s and 1500s do when they're looking at art. You think about the emotional side of characters and understanding their behavior in movies. Whereas, for me, if I watch something like Alien or, something like The Thing, I'm like, oh my God, there was an explosion. That was freaking awesome. But you understand character motivations, better than mostly anyone I've ever seen. And I think that's really been highlighted in all the episodes we've done. So I think you deserve the Deep Thinker Award. I'm going to put you in the spreadsheet for it.
Yeah, put it in there.
So
I
missed a little bit. I appreciate that, Kay.
I did like a 3-minute monologue about how great, Bryson was, and about how great the rest of the crew was for watching the movie and actually doing the homework, coming with their A game. And I think that it dropped every bit of that.
It did.
Everybody was completely frozen. So yeah, I don't want to have to go back through all that, but basically what I was saying was this group of people take this show a whole lot more serious than what the old group of people did that me and Corky were working with. And I really appreciate that. When we say, even if it's a stupid movie,
yeah,
even when we say, we're going to watch Alligator 1980, okay, everybody, I know that everybody's going to watch that movie, and they're going to come with their notes, and they're going to come ready to discuss it. Okay. And the other group of people that we used to have, they wouldn't have done that for a million years, not even for a good movie. Basically, what I was saying was kudos to the group, and kudos to Bryson for being the professor, and for actually showing up with the answers to my trivia questions that I'm going to ask, because I know that when we say we're going to watch this movie, everybody's at least going to watch the movie, and they're at least going to come on the show, and they're going to know what they're talking about, and they're going to take it serious. So I give everybody in the group whatever award that is, because I know that I can count on everybody to actually watch
the Being Awesome Award. Yeah. But yeah, man, hey guys, 2025 was awesome. I've had a great time doing this show with you guys. And I know we've had some technical issues here the last few minutes. So Bryson and Daniel, you guys, when I upload this, you'll be able to hear everything we were talking about. Basically, just thank everybody for what they've done on the show this year, taking it seriously. Like I said, me and Daniel came from a show where, stuff just wasn't taken seriously. And it shows with the type of product we're putting out, man. So I appreciate everybody on here, man. You know, you guys are awesome, and I'm looking forward to 2026. We got a lot of different stuff planned and maybe some different type of shows planned. Just, you know, looking forward to the new year, and we're going to have a good time. It's going to be fun. I appreciate everybody. Y'all got anything else you want to add before we cut out of here?
It's going to be fun, y'all. Stick with us. Stick with us.
All right. Hit that like and hit that subscribe. It's going to be a fun ride. See you guys later. Bye.
See you.
Bye.
Yo, we rolling deep, let's dive into the fright. Hit that play button, we review every bite. From horror flicks that give you chills at night to games that thrill, yeah, we get it right. Remember that, step back, hold tight. We'll dissect every scare, keep the vibe right. Remember that, we're here to expose the thrills, the chills where the dark wind blows. From pixels on screens to the sound that glows. Join us forever, that's how the story goes. Now let's talk beats, we break down the sound. From underground hits to the mainstream crown. Music that moves, lifts you off the ground. Tune into our rhythm, let the passion rebound. Let's reminisce, before we fight. From underground hits to the mainstream crown. Let's reminisce, every song, every fight. We'll vibe through the shadows, shining our light. Remember that, we're here to expose the thrills, the chills where the dark wind blows. From pixels on screens to the sound that glows. Join us forever, that's how the story goes. So plug in, we're on this ride tonight. Remember that, keeping horror in sight.